we have to talk about Peanut the squirrel.
Let's do it today on Medical History Mysteries.
So if you've been hiding under a rock, you might have missed that internet sensation Peanut the squirrel was euthanized because he allegedly bit somebody and they euthanized him so that they could test him for rabies. Is that right?
Exactly right. It was heartbreaking. It had to do with New York State enforcing some law on having a wildlife as a pet. And so they went to retrieve Peanut the squirrel. And then I guess in all of the handling and the stress and everything, maybe Peanut got agitated and he bit one of the people who was trying to take him away from his normal owner. And because the protocols we have for treating rabies means we have to test the animal for rabies. Unfortunately, that testing the animal for rabies means sometimes we end up, killing the animal to get the test done, and it's just the whole thing is just so unfortunate. But I think it brings up the bigger concept, Pam, of especially now around the holidays, people are going to be visiting others, family, friends, whatever, and those folks have pets. I can't tell my family members what kind of pet to have. Dogs, cats are pretty much the standard, but there's plenty of others. There's snakes, there's ferrets, and heck, maybe the occasional squirrel and raccoon. I don't know, but all I know is we've got to be able to be aware of some of the more general guidelines in treating animal bites or pet bites. Because again, the tie-in to dentistry is if I'm allergic to a specific antibiotic agent or an agent that might be used to treat that infection, I may be incapacitated if I've gotten that bite. Maybe I might have passed out from shock. It's important to be able to have your family members know about your sensitivities when it comes to drugs so they can speak on your behalf.
So say now, not many people have a squirrel. And so we started this conversation talking about Peanut and RIP Peanut. I hate hearing stories like this. But the reality is people too suffer bites and scratches from other people's pets.
Yeah.
So what should we do? So say, not that it would ever happen because she's perfect. If Senorita bit somebody, if they came over on the holidays, would we say, okay, well, wash your hand or wherever you got bit and see what happens? Or do we kind of jump in and prophylactically prescribe or get them medical attention so that they can get a prescription for an antibiotic? How does that work?
I've seen this handled multiple ways, and I will tell you, I think the best thing to do, the best first step is to seek medical attention. Now you could go to urgent care because a lot of these places are available on hours when the medical doctor's offices are closed. You could do an ED, emergency department, but they may be overwhelmed, especially around the holidays. It's hard to say, but I definitely would seek medical attention because we're not experts on the various complications of animal bites. If you've been bitten by a dog, we love dogs and we practically smooch our dogs, and then some dogs even eat off people's plates. But dogs carry specific bacteria in their saliva that we could easily succumb to, and can some of those bites become really infected really fast. And so you need a trained veterinarian or somebody who understands veterinary medicine to really know what organism you're dealing with. And in our case, a trained medical professional who would be able to say, okay, this is the organism you might have contracted from a dog or a cat. So this is the type of antibiotic regimen we'll have to use. So it may be beyond our purvey for self-treatment. I think the best thing to do is to seek a medical attention. Sometimes they basically say, well, just put some antibiotic ointment on it, keep it wrapped, keep it, and that's fine. But I don't want to take the chance of running into things like, toxoplasmosis and all these other nasty things that can occur simply because I thought, well, it's just an animal bite and, move on.
So you said taking the risk. So I think what we should consider as dental professionals, but as people and as responsible animal owners, perhaps we should mitigate risk. And so if you're going to bring your dog into a scenario that could be particularly stressful for them, or if they may even though you want them around for the holidays, if they may encounter another animal that could bite them, or you could get bit in the crossfire, maybe it's best to find a suitable place where they can be safe and happy over the holidays. So I think mitigation of risk is key here.
Couldn't have said it better. I would never want to tell anybody whose home I'm visiting, hey, please keep your dog away, put him in a different room. And I also wouldn't tell anybody coming to visit my home, hey, you can't bring your dog, or you can't bring your cat or your pet. But I think sometimes it falls upon the person to realize I would love my pet to be with us for the holidays, but what could ensue from that? And why would I want to introduce that element to what's going to be a joyous occasion to celebrate? So maybe it's worth leaving, the pet home, or if you're the homeowner, maybe keeping your pet in a different room, even if it is for just a few hours at a time, just so everybody stays safe and there's really no issues that can come up to ultimately, ruin the whole experience. I mean, I just feel like pets, I love pets. I've had pets my whole life. I even have a pet rock now, you know what I'm saying? So I love pets. But the bottom line is we've got to be rational and we've got to be safe too and realize that the risk outweighs the benefit in some cases.
And hindsight is 2020. And
Always.
so I would prefer not to use my hindsight and just try to be safe in the first place. So I'm so sad that we had to have this conversation because I think we needed to bring some attention to poor little Peanut. But I do think that this is a warning to all animal owners that we really should be safe and do everything we can to keep our animals stress-free and also try to mitigate risk for different incidents that can happen there.
Yeah, R.I.P. Peanut. I mean, if Peanut's death brings us anything, maybe it's the fact that maybe we need to keep our pets safe, keep our guests safe, and maybe keep our documentation on our pets and their vaccinations and everything that the veterinarian has. Keep all that up to date. Keep a copy at home so that if an animal bite does occur and you go with that person to the hospital, at least you can show what the latest immunizations were. So that way that might mitigate some of the risk and clear up some of the confusion.
Great advice. All right, everyone, for Medical History Mysteries, I'm Pam Maragliano-Muniz with always Tom Viola. We will see you all next week.